So, in the latest effort to dehumanize, to demonize, and to criminalize legal immigrants in the United States, the Trump Justice Department has moved to establish a department specifically for denaturalization. So, this is an office within the Justice Department that's strictly going to review cases to strip and revoke legal immigrants of their citizenship status. So people that are citizens, people that have been naturalized through legal means, the Justice Department is now looking at cases to revoke people of their citizenship. Now, this is significantly concerning to me. Donald Trump's Justice Department is not one which I trust in any means to look at these cases and to review them in a fair manner. Now, the New York Times article goes in depth about what's happening a little bit more, so let's take a look at some of what they say. Justice Department establishes office to denaturalize immigrants. The department called the decision a move to, quote, bring justice to terrorists, war criminals, sex offenders, and other fraudsters, but some lawyers there feared a broader crackdown. The Justice Department said Wednesday that it had created an official section in its immigration office to strip citizenship rights from naturalized immigrants, a move that gives more heft to the Trump administration's broad efforts to remove from the country immigrants who have committed crimes. The denaturalization section, quote, underscores the department's commitment to bring justice to terrorists, war criminals, sex offenders, and other fraudsters who had illegally obtained naturalization, Joseph H. Hunt, the head of the Justice Department's Civil Division, said in a statement. They later go on to say that the denaturalizations have ramped up under the Trump administration. So this isn't something new. This is something that also happened under the Obama administration. But they say here that of the 228 naturalization cases that the department has filed since 2008, about 40% of them were filed since 2017. Wow. According to the official department numbers. And over the past 3 years, denaturalization case referrals to the department have increased 600%. So it's clear that these numbers are ramping up under the Trump administration, which is sadly unsurprising. We know all throughout Donald Trump's campaign that he was demonizing and dehumanizing undocumented immigrants and legal immigrants in an effort to bolster his support amongst the right wing, the far, far right wing, and even some moderate right wing conservatives. This is not okay. This is not okay, and I'll tell you why, okay? Because anyone that attacks this new Justice Department section, they are going to mischaracterize what we're saying. They're going to misrepresent our attacks against the department. They'll say, well, why would you want people that have committed sex crimes to keep their immigration status? Why would you want terrorists to keep their immigration status? So let's pick that apart a little bit. Aside from the broken justice system that falsely accuses people of crimes all the time, that is holding people in Guantanamo Bay without any formal charges, aside from that, specifically the fraud portion, there are several cases out there where they define fraud fairly broadly. So there was a New York Times article back in 2017 that I'll put in the description of this video that detailed 2 stories of people who had been charged in an effort to denaturalize them. One case was a man by the name of Abdo Wassel, who had come to the United States in 1990 with his father, and he had become a citizen of the United States in 1995. He's a Yemeni-born person along with his father as well. And something happened, I believe it was in 2013, where Barack Obama revoked citizenship of people from Yemen, or sorry, not revoked citizenship, but revoked the passports of people from Yemen under the belief that many of these passports were fraudulent. And the belief that they were fraudulent was because the civil department of Yemen didn't start keeping track of births and deaths until 1980. So a lot of the people that have passports or documents related to births and deaths only have those documents because they petitioned the department by telling them this information, by saying, this is when this happened, I was born here, this person was born then, and then the documents were produced. So people that try to renew passports that are from the countries of Yemen or Somalia, things like that, are they undergo a lot more scrutiny than the typical person would. So when Abdo Wassel tried to renew his passport in 2015, he underwent a lot of scrutiny, and it came out that they asked him to do a DNA test. They asked his father to do a DNA test, and they found that the two DNA samples didn't match. And Abdo's father had to tell him at that point that Abdo was an orphan that they found, and his father and his mother raised him without ever telling him. So under the department that was seeking to denaturalize him, as well as his two kids that were born in Yemen, they pointed to that, and they said he submitted his application fraudulently. Despite him not knowing that that wasn't his father, him saying that this person is his father, under the eyes of the department that was seeking to denaturalize him, viewed this as fraud. Now, these are civil cases, okay? They don't have to prove intent. They just have to prove that this is something that happened. He didn't intentionally seek to defraud the United States, but technically he gave false information when submitting his citizen application. Another case like this happened to someone by the name of Shoran Hossein. He came, I believe he came to the United States in 1990. He submitted an asylum application in 1995. So the first time he submitted his application, he submitted his name as Sohran. They sought to deport him after that, so he submitted another application, except this time he submitted it Shorran. And when he had his application accepted the second time, 20 years later, down the line, they pointed back to that misspelling of his name and said that you defrauded us. This is fraud. Keep in mind, this is someone who, up to that point, had ever only spelled his name out in Bengali. These are the type of cases that they're referring to the Justice Department. Again, they don't need to prove intent. They merely just need to prove that it happened in civil courses. Now, in that second case, the jury acquitted him of the charges. They didn't find that to be, I guess, a broad enough level of offense to denaturalize him. But that just goes to show that these are the type of cases, that 600% increase, these are the type of cases that are being submitted to the Justice Department. So when people say you don't want this department to exist because you want terrorists or sex offenders to have citizenship, no, that's not why. It's because, A, a lot of these cases are submitted to the Justice Department on shaky ground, and B, this just ramps up attacks on immigrants in the United States. So this is something that we need to fight. We can't just let this department to be established without fighting. So I'm urging everyone, please, if you're watching this video, contact your congressperson, contact your senator, contact even local officials, and let them know that you are strongly opposed to the creation of this department in the Justice Department. We can't let this go without a fight. And please share this video. Tell your friends. Tell everyone you know. Shout out from a rooftop that this Justice Department, this new department within the Justice Department, should not exist. We were fine without it, and we need to fight to ensure that cases like Abdo, cases like Sharon, don't lose their citizenship because of this shaky grounding.